RCEP is going to be very important. RCEP, there are four elements in RCEP. One is market-based. Principles are adopted, and second is ASEAN centrality is very important. And RCEP is actually driven by ASEAN, and that centrality is very pinned down in the RCEP structure itself. And the third important component of RCEP is economic cooperation. And that allows the 15 countries to come together and develop regional integration that's going to be more deeper, more broader, more depth than any other trading arrangement you're going to find in the global environment. It covers 30% of GDP. It covers 30% of global trade, yes, and nearly 30% of FDI.
The fact is, though, that out of the 15 signatories, 4 have yet to ratify the agreement. Some have missed deadlines, some have made commitments to do so, but it shows that there are still real obstacles that stand in the way of a full ratification.
There's two parts to doing a free trade agreement. There is a necessary condition and a sufficient condition. So the negotiation until now is fully based on the necessary condition. Necessary conditions are purely covered by the trade negotiations themselves, and which basically means how the 15 countries can come together. And the important part of RCEP in the ratification is as long as 6 ASEAN members and 4 or 3 non-ASEAN members sign, the agreement comes into force, which basically means that fairly RCEP will be coming into a strong economic integration force in 2022. The other countries will be rectified. I think they will rectify. It's just that there are a little bit of sufficient conditions have to be met. Behind border issues have to be assessed. So fairly, I think they should be able to get into the integration itself.
How would you respond to people who say that RCEP benefits larger members, Japan, South Korea, and not so much the smaller nations?
Well, that's not really true. Recent study by Economic Research Institute for ASEAN and Southeast Asia, which I also do some work, actually shows that all ASEAN members actually benefit. In fact, the CLM countries, there's Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, and Myanmar actually significantly benefit from trade itself. And the catching up process that comes from RCEP is also going to be quite significant. But of course, the other important element of RCEP is CJK, which is China, Japan, and Korea. And those elements are also important. This is the first time China, Japan, and Korea are coming together to write free flow of goods, free flow of investment, and free flow of people that's never been done before. So the CJK impact on ASEAN and the region itself is going to be so significant. And that's the reason why CJK has the most significant gains. It's not just China. It's also Japan and Korea. It's also expected to gain significantly when there's a greater movement of goods. And that will accelerate the GVC, global value chain, broader, deeper, and also allows all the ASEAN countries, including the Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Vietnam, to significantly participate in the new kind of GVC that's going to come up.
Yeah.
And we must keep in mind, under the anti-globalization issue, RCEP is going to play a very significant role in the pandemic recovery.
Indeed, but do you think, further down the line, as countries are pushed closer to China in terms of their economic activity, it becomes dangerous that the ASEAN becomes over-reliant on China?
Well, as I mentioned, RCEP is not just China. It's an ASEAN centrality is very key. So when you look very closely how RCEP has been developed, the ASEAN centrality is the key for us, RCEP to actually fully benefit all the member countries, including China. So I think China understands that ASEAN centrality is also very key for them. So when you closely look at the structure, the ASEAN centrality is the key center of this whole RCEP itself. And of course, there can be skeptics who argue that within ASEAN there might be weakness, but fairly ASEAN is coming together. A good example is the current chairmanship by Cambodia will be very significant to actually have full impact of not only the necessary condition, but also the sufficient condition. That means how to bring all the rest of ASEAN together to actually drive the deeper integration of RCEP itself.
All right, we have been speaking to Mr. Shandre Thangavelu on the enforcement of RCEP, which comes